Thanks, Jackie. You're welcome. I thought there was somebody standing there next to me.
Well, Barney's there.
We're all here together. My name is Judy DeRosa, and I am here getting to be your host today. We have been doing a lot of reconnecting and repositioning, and I think it's really important to see how available people are to change and shifting around. Our theme for this year is awakening, and I think that awakening is happening all over the world, and we welcome that energetic, bringing that. And the topic for May, and this is our last speaker for this topic, is Be the Light. And I would like to ask Warren to open with her song. As we go into meditation, hold the silence. Allow yourself to be here, right now, in this moment. as we return from 5 minutes of meditation, we come back peaceful, relaxed, filled with loving light, filled with new energy, as we hold peace within our being, light within our spirit. Everybody back in their body. Yeah. That's all it takes is just 5 minutes, 20 minutes. But it is a great gift you give yourself. I would like to ask Reverend Robin to come and give us her short talk on the end of the month, what we're doing here together.
Okay, everyone. Good morning. Can you guys hear me? Am I talking correctly into the mic?
Yeah.
Barely?
Well, I can hear you, but I don't know how.
Berta? Okay. There we go. The people in the back. I will make sure I'm talking loud enough, especially over the fun noise. But it's good because you know what? Right here and right now is we're in this present moment. And we allow all other noises just kind of be there, right? Because we can come right here within and just focus on where we're at and what we're doing. And I'm actually going to set my timer because I don't get 30 minutes to talk here. I get 5. So let's make sure we got that set and ready to fly. Okay, so I'm Reverend Robin Wohlford. You guys all know that. And I'm here to give the spiritual thought for this last Sunday of May. It has been Be the Light for the whole month. And we've had some great talks on just how to be there, how to get ourselves there, and to be in that sacred service as our practice. So the first idea that we have to be the light within ourselves before we can be the light for others to see. We want to be that light for others to see. This takes practice. And I have this quote from James Allen. I'm going to do the quote. People do not attract that which they want, but that which they are. So if you think about that, people do not attract what they want, they attract what they are. So I got some ideas from James Allen. I have read him quite a bit in the last 10 years or so. He's a British philosopher, writer, and he was considered the pioneer of self-help books movement. He's best known for his work called As a Man Thinketh, and it's from 1903, so that long time ago, right? And so the good part about that, because it's been so long, most of his stuff is free now on internet and that kind of thing. And they do a lot of YouTube videos where you can listen to his books being read out loud. And he is an interesting writer, and I find he's just really simple. And another quote from him: a man sooner or later discovers that he is the master gardener of his soul, the director of his life. So as we use our spiritual tools to practice to come into being with meditation and journaling and our spiritual mind treatments or prayers, this helps us to move forward on our spiritual path, learning to become the light of the world. And we have to become that within before we can show that where others will see that. And so he is quoted as saying about meditation, the more intense the nature of a man, the more readily he will find meditation and the more successfully he will practice it. So as we just kind of breathe that in and take it in. We practice controlling our thoughts, trained versus untrained. And I think that that is the key here. We can be the light that we need in our lives, help others in love and light. So, as a last quote from James Allen, a man is literally what he thinks. So, in that first quote where people do not attract what they want, but that which they are, if your thoughts are negative or in that direction, you're going to attract people and things that you want that are negative. It's still a demonstration, right? Whether it's positive or negative, if you're thinking the car's going to break down and you're thinking that, it will. And it's still a demonstration, just not in the direction that you wanted it to go in. So his quote was, a man is literally what he thinks. So to finish up, I'm going to read from the Daily Spark Metaphysical Insights, One Day at a Time by Reverend Bill Mashumi. I always don't do a good job on that. But he has a book out called The Daily Sparks. And each day you can read one date. It has the date on it, but it also, each chapter has a title. And I found with all the daily books that are out there, I actually love having the chapter titles. Because then if something really resonates with me, then I can pick that. And I picked the May 10th reading, and it's called You Make It Better. So if we kind of sit in this thought, you can close your eyes if you're good with that. Leave them open and watch my hands fly as I read. But make sure you have a smile on your face, okay? You make the world better, a better place. There are people who look forward to seeing you, to having you in their presence, because it makes everything a little brighter, a little nicer, a little bit more delightful. You bring some joy and some love into someone's life. That is why we know you are a bright light of God's love. You let that love shine and show and flow and reveal itself in each wonderful ways. You do it with your great generosity, lifting others up and brightening their world. You are a blessing. So thank you. And that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Robin. I think everyone is shining out here as we shine with each other and learn more about how much we love each other and care. Warren Cox, our favorite musician. Do you have more music for us?
You guys all recognize this song? It's an old Paul McCartney song. Sitting, saying songs for everyone.
We are so fortunate for all the talent that we have together. Thank you so much, Ryan. Our speaker, Reverend Kim Haley, will be speaking to us about the light. Come on up, Kim. Give her a hand.
Okay, I'm gonna grab my book for you.
Hello, good morning. There's some nice faces out there. You know about being the light, or be the light. I was in a kind of a grouchy mood yesterday. I didn't feel very bright. I felt like that. And I was doing a lot of things, so I was like examining, what was that? Why was I grouchy? Why was I feeling that way? And, I was working on my talk, and I thought, I just wasn't able to find, I was looking for the spark. I wanted a spark to enter the picture, and really, it didn't until last night I looked at the full moon before I went to bed. So all day I, worked, I did different things, I had my to-do list, I was trying to check things off. And I realized, I know better. I do know better. And yet I'm human. And I'm very human. And yesterday was a dance with my ego. I was dancing with my ego yesterday. And it's there. And what is ego? You can look at it in a lot of different ways. But I was dancing around with my ego, and I realized I hadn't been filling the well of my creative juices. I was doing dutiful things. And we all do that. We all have to do some things we don't like to do. And as Bob Hand said last week, he had to inform you that ministers have egos. And I want to say, boy, howdy. Which, yes, we do. And so I started to think about the ego was sort of the thing that was, I don't know if the word is dogging me, haunting me. I had to put up with some things. I was listening. I wasn't really listening to the voice very much, but I was going, just what? And finally, I'm on my computer. Something popped up on the screen. And I'm going to go over there. So I go on to the screen, and it is a pop-up of a young man named Polo. And Polo is a young man that is presenting music that he has never heard before. People send him music and said, listen to this, listen to that, listen to this. And it's from the 60s and the 70s and the 80s and the 90s a lot of the time, and I realized I am getting old. And then he played a piece of music, and he was so overcome by it that he plays a lot of music. I'm a boomer, so I am very much into a lot of the music that I grew up with. I love it. And he played Dire Straits, Sultans of Swing. And I got up from my desk and turned it up full blast and started to move my body, because my body was trying to tell me, you need to move me. You've been sitting here, you haven't been moving. And so I started to sing and dance to it, and he was so much fun to listen to. He would stop it because he'd go, I think this is the best song I have ever heard in my life. And he might be maybe in his 20s, And it was fun to enjoy this music again through his eyes. What does that have to do with the light? It has a lot to do with the light. A lot of the time, somebody else's light can light you up. Basically, somebody else's light can light you up. And I was grateful for that because I thought, oh, I'm really having a pity party. I'm working into a great mope. I can do that really easily. I had to laugh at myself because that's what I was doing. I go, I get to do this talk. Nobody's making me do it. It just didn't feel like it was fluid and flowing yesterday. And then when I read what I had written, I thought, meh. Very critical and judgy. And so you're right, it's in here. It's in here. The critic got loose, and I let her. And then I thought, they're a forgiving bunch at the PLC. They'll let it ride. Anyway, so I did bring some things I want to talk about. But one of the things I was going to say about filling the well. We know when we're tired. And we can sense that. We know when we're tired or we're fed up with the to-do list or everything like that. I mean, what is one more day of dust on my cupboard or my table going to do? You know, what is it? That? And I thought, I'll just let that slide. I'll let that slide. And I'll just sit with my thoughts, which I have not been able to do very little, because I'm trying to I do it a little bit, but I do it some more. Like even 5 minutes, as Judy said, that was refreshing. That was a refresher. Well, that dancing and singing to that music, nobody was there. I could be as wild as I wanted to be, and so I was. I could even pretend I was the lead singer, which was a lot of fun. I didn't even have a hairbrush, which is what I used to use as my microphone. And I thought, yeah, this just feels good. And I didn't feel old. I didn't feel decrepit. And I felt renewed. And I think that that's what we're talking about when we say be the light. At first I was angry. Everything's trying to tell us to be something. I don't want to be anything else. And I was just crabby. It was a very crabby time. I had to luxuriate in my crabbiness. And so I read something, and I think it was from Osho. Oh, it's in my phone. I think I'm going to get it. Bear with me. I forgot it's in here. It was sent to me. I'll talk when I get back up there. This was sent to me by Linda Angel. Does anybody remember Linda? Yeah. She was the head pastor here for a little while. And she sent me this, and I thought, how timely. It was really good. And so let me find out where it is. There it is. And it's from Osho, whom I like very much. And it says, drop the idea of becoming someone. Just drop it, let it go. Because you're already a masterpiece. You cannot be improved. You just have to come to it. You just have to come to it, to know it, to realize it. I'm going to say it one more time. Drop the idea of becoming someone. Because you're already a masterpiece. You cannot be improved. You just have to come to it, to know it, to realize it. And I said, using it in my talk this Sunday. She goes, and I thanked her, and she said, cool, me too. So, and we did study Osho. We did study Osho with Joanne Burgess many years ago. So, I was reviewing a few things. Being the last speaker of the month, a lot of things have been said already. I don't know who was here for every single talk. But one of the things, too, that got me back into was the ego. I thought, I want to talk about the ego. Because there's a lot of different ideas about that. And even when I looked it up in the Science of Mind book, it wasn't, I wasn't really satisfied with what the explanation was, and I couldn't really relate to it in the way that it was said. It was just saying it's just the inner man or the inner woman. And maybe that is true. We need the ego to a certain extent. We don't need to be run by the ego. But the ego is there. It provides contrast and provides us with certain lessons. It's not even what I think it is. And so I have something I wrote, and it was, I wrote down from someone, which is, everything is here to help you. It's a book by Matt Kahn. Everything is here to help you finding the gift in life's greatest challenges. Finding the gift in life's greatest challenges. And sometimes we are maybe our own greatest challenge. You know, and if we bring light to that, we bring it into the light of our own experience, of our own understanding. I think that is very shareable in that you don't even have to do anything. You just sit with it. But what Matt Kahn has said is the activation of the light that is in the divine is in the humans, you and me. These are words, they're powerful words. But where am I finding it? I have to find it for you. I want to ask this question before I get into what he said. What do you suppose this light is? Have you asked yourself that question? What do you suppose this light is? It's not one that... I think you can see it in people, but it's not like a click light. You can see how maybe a person holds themselves, how the energy might be flowing, that kind of thing. Is it the eternal flame of fire, a passion, the kind of thing that moves feet to dance, a hand to paint, voices to sing, a poet to write, a scientist to explore, a veterinarian to ease an animal's suffering? There are many paths. I would say I've felt in my life that I have lived many different lives in the life that I've had, and I'm still living, so that's a great thing. I get up and breathe, I feel good. I'm on my hind legs, and that's good. But as you know, I traveled through a lot of different stages of my life. And everything, you know, even when life got dark, or I did not accept things in my family, or I felt there was a lot of things that I was challenged by, there was always something. I always felt like there was something there, something that was in the back of all of it, which is what Ernest Holmes says, something in back of everything. And I felt that guided me through a lot of things, a lot of maybe decisions that I made at the time that had consequences that I wasn't ready for. And I learned. And I learned I'm not alone, but I did feel alone a lot of the time. And, you know, maybe it was my mother and my grandmother who prayed a lot for me. Very Catholic upbringing. They prayed a lot. They lit a lot of candles. That's a big thing when they light the candles in front of the statues because they're worried about them. And that was caring. They cared. So the light in the candle was also an idea. I was thinking about the lights in these candles. Sort of light the candle in our hearts. I was scared of a lot of things growing up. Scared. And that's why I'm not anymore like the same scared. I mean, I think public speaking is probably the scariest thing. Taking a risk, stepping out, doing something that is uncomfortable. It doesn't matter if you fall flat on your face. It may hurt. You may feel a little stupid. But equally, you took a risk. You did something different. And that's what I'm saying to myself. Just step out. Just, whatever. You're going to be okay. I think that's where we awaken. We get to awaken to things. And I'm going to start telling you what he said. because that's what Nat Kahn is actually a wonderful spiritual teacher and writer. And in his book, Everything is Here to Help You, it contains within the pages a clear-sighted and explanation about ego, many of which I wholeheartedly agree with. He states, in the new spiritual paradigm, we do not oppose ego. Instead, we are heart-centered anchors of a new humanity who have come to liberate the ego from cycles of self-imposed pain by returning it to source in the most loving way. A big mouthful, but I think that that's when we see ourselves and we go, oh, how stupid of me. Oh, I shouldn't have said that. I shouldn't do that. That is when we stay in ego and beat ourselves up. But in fact, and here's another spiritual teacher, Eckhart Tolle, who said, when the ego arises, when you feel the ego, you think that's ego and you identify it, just smile. Just smile. It is a form of letting go. It's a form of just letting it go. And when you do that, you are not re-engaging again with that part that we call the ego. You are letting it go. And I would wholeheartedly say, embrace it. Embrace it, love it, and let it be a part of your life, but it does not have to rule your life. Because if you give it so much loving attention, it can get quiet. You find that? He goes on to explain that the soul is like a unique ray of light, expressed from the sun of our eternal source. Simply by viewing the ego with loving compassion, the light of the soul begins to soften each harsh and rigid edge until each layer melts away. Be the light which we already are. That doesn't mean you have to do anything except be the light. Be quiet maybe sometimes with yourself. Be kind with yourself. He talks about the three activities of the ego as well. The ego always worries. The ego likes to worry. The ego cannot exist without a sense of worry. He believes this. And you might find that to be true in your life. The ego is incapable of accepting its true identity as a pure, untainted expression of source. Worry extends from fear. The ego needs to anticipate the ego and steeps in worry. There's often something painful that it anticipates happening in the future. The ego must regret, cast back blame to something or someone, a person, a place, or a thing that is the cause of the pain. And all of those things, it says, when the soul awakens, it initially assists in the integration of the ego by becoming aware of it. As we learn to become familiar with reoccurring patterns of ego without judging it or buying into its beliefs and demands, the grip of inner conflict begins to loosen. So it's basically when you are, to me, if you are being the light, you're being present in each moment. As much as you can. As much as possible. Some days, not so easy. It's okay. You have permission to be the human being that you came here to be. All parts of yourself. And they're welcome here. Eckhart Tolle was somebody we studied way back when Joanne Burgess was here, which was back in 2008. That book is almost 20 years old. And I still feel like, wow, this is a new thinking. It is 20 years old. And she did a lot of meditation, and she did the class simultaneously when Oprah Winfrey did hers. I don't know if people remember that Oprah Winfrey had Eckhart Tolle on, and she did I think she did 10 of his 10 classes on it online, and then we did the classes as well and followed along here at PLC. And I remember when reading this book, the enthusiasm that I had for it. I have been waiting to read something like this. And it came from his own personal experience of what he went through in his life. And of course it touched me and touched many others, lots of others, millions of people have bought this book and worked with it to find a different aspect of themselves, to understand themselves better. And that's what we're here doing. We're trying to understand better. It is a relief to do that. And it was really a nice relief to do it in a class setting as well. And he says, how to recognize your own ego is to know your own ego is as an awakening. And deep within you there is a power. That's what he says, Eckhart Tolle. There's a silent power. The beginning of staying in the present moment is to become aware of your sensory perceptions, of your own intuition, of your own feeling nature. That is strength. That is your inner power. And when you're connected with it, you really don't have to do very much else. And a lot of us, I know some of the, when the ego hears some of this stuff, some of us go, oh, really? Okay. Oh, really? It says one conscious breath is a mini meditation. It's a mini meditation. You're present right away. I feel that. I realized too when I was telling you earlier about listening to the music, the Sultans of Swing, I then did feel this spark of there is so... It's like I felt the amazing creativity that we are blessed with in this life. How much creativity there is. And sometimes I miss it. It goes missing. It walks right by me. I don't see it because I am looking in another direction. And you can change that direction anytime you want to. Anytime. If you are willing, you can change that direction. And you can feel that light just there. No effort. I was going to tell, I read something about Ernest Holmes, expresses in his Science of Mind book, that fear is the belief in limitation, a denial that the divine is the center and source of all good. And I felt limited yesterday. I have to say, I was in that place until I started moving, until I started seeing that there's so many things out there. What am I missing? What am I missing? And by accepting that we are part of the divine, we're able to release this fear. We're not alone. If we're in a room by ourselves, it doesn't mean we're alone. That's not what that means. And Holmes also writes, love alone can overcome fear because love surrenders itself to the object of its adoration. There's a letting go. A surrender is a letting go. It's not a giving up, it's a letting go and allowing. I know people that don't like the word surrender. No, you're going to be tough. You got to fight. Really? It's just as easy as going, okay. The soul must make a complete surrender of itself to the spirit. The will of the spirit is peace, clear thinking, and happiness. It could have no other will. The spirit can have no other will. Confidence overcomes the depression of doubt. So, do you love yourself? That is a question you can ask yourself. Do you love yourself? That is something that Reverend Shayla used to talk about. Do you love yourself? It's a simple question. It can make you uncomfortable sometimes because you go, well, I'm working on it. And you don't really even have to work that hard. Self-acceptance. It says, again, from Osho, drop the idea of becoming someone, because you are already a masterpiece. You cannot be improved, you just have to come to it. You just have to come to it, to know it and to realize it, in that you're already being the light. And there's many people, many books, many classes, many things that we see, many people sharing their light in all sorts of ways. And when we hear them and we resonate with that, we feel their light. So if we allow our light, we allow other people's light. It's just very simple, but is it easy all the time? Sometimes we make it harder than it has to be. So, thank you for listening to me. See you in the light.
That was a lot.
Yeah. I see what you're doing. I know, I make all this stuff. Okay.
Thank you, Kim. The reminder to be the light is the reminder to take a breath and be alive and love yourself. And we need that reminder because we forget. And as we, just like our breath, breathe in, breathe out, let it go. Love yourself. Great reminders. I love the diversity of the Positive Living Center and how we get different versions of life all the time. And our speakers are, I think, just magical. I truly appreciate them. Could I have 2 people come up and help with the offertory? Thank you. And we'll say the offertory statement together. Divine love flowing through me blesses and increases all that I give and all that I receive. So I hadn't asked if there was anyone new earlier because I noticed I knew all the faces, but I did notice someone snuck in here. And we welcome you. Would you be willing to give us your name?
My name is Devin. You want me to stand?
Sure.
My name is Devin.
Hi,
I was a little late, my bad, sorry.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
It's been, I think, like some years back, I came by with my mom, and I want to go back, so.
Very cool.
Well, we're glad you're here.
Thank you.
Yes. We have other ways of donating to the Positive Living Center. There's a, thank you. There is a post office box. There's a way to donate on Zoom. And I think that part of that reciprocity is, like our breath. Comes in, goes out. and that we're sharing this abundance together with each other. There is a frog box that a dear friend Roseanne painted for us 20 years ago, and it's in the corner in the back, and you can ask for prayer treatment. And we have a group of people that will, I think Robin reads them and sends it out to the practitioners and the ministers, and we focus on what it is that's often very difficult for us to see while we're in the midst of our own chaos or ego. And I think that prayer really works. We get reminded all the time, it's talking to the Creator, whether we're thinking it. And if we're thinking negatively, we're going to get that negative back. But we think positively, and we're going to get that back also. So we have to, guide ourselves. Do we have any announcements? Oh, we do. All right. John Stanley, what would you like to say? Come on up. I know. Our in-house cowboy.
I stand before you humble here. Cowboy needs a home. I've got about 5 days, and I've got a great pickup truck, but it's awful to sleep in it overnight. So if you hear of anything, I would bring not only money to pay for rent, but expertise, with grounds like those outside, and I can tell cowboy stories all night. Thank you.
I love you, John. Kim?
Oh, I was just going to say, if there's any interest still in doing chanting, the first 2 Sundays after the service, about 11:15, I will put that space out there for everyone who wants to come and do some chanting. And I would love to continue doing it, because I think it's really something I like to do. I don't know if everybody else likes to do it, but I think breathing and singing and the vibration of it is very helpful.
Thank you. Karen?
We're going into the summer here, and there's a few of the trees on the outside that have cages around them that are not on the water system. So if anybody feels strong who would like to pull the hose that's over here out and water those trees, you just have to open the gate, turn the water on, water the trees, and roll the hose up. But we appreciate anybody. It's a lovely place to come and just water trees, by the way. But if anybody has the time or the wherewithal to water, there's just about 5 of them out there that need summer water. Thank you.
Thank you. And we have to thank Karen and Steve and Daniel for all the beautiful work that's been done around the Positive Living Center. It is such a joy to drive up and see flowers and life force. It's lovely. Thank you. Thank you. John?
Shall I?
Would you?
Okay, I'll do this. So on the second Saturday of every month, we have a flute circle that starts at 2 o'clock. And if you'd like to learn how to play the flute, John is a wonderful teacher. And we toot and flute. And I have learned so much about the flute. Stephen DeRosa had given me one, and I had no idea how to actually play it. And it has been a joy for me to get to play from the heart. And then at 3:30, flute class ends, and we set up for the drum circle and I have the opportunity to lead a drum circle, and it is all about bringing out the mother drum and playing together and being in community and introducing something different to people who may have never sat by a vibrational, energetic like the big drum. And you can bring your own drum and rattles, and if you don't have anything to play with, we have some here. And we go to about 5:30. And it is all about community and reconnecting to that element of higher self energetically. Sandy Scott.
She won't want a song, but before you leave today, say happy birthday to Jenny Flaherty.
Oh, happy birthday,
Happy
Jenny.
birthday.
Happy birthday.
Hey Jenny, happy birthday to me. Getting old is a blessing. So everybody's got their announcements done. We're all good there? All right. Our prayer partner is Reverend Robin. And if you would like to talk to her privately, we have a little meditation room. And it's a lovely sense to be able to be with the practitioner and be heard and understand that we can exchange that energetic of an idea that might be low vibration to a higher consciousness, bringing in that light. Your next week's speaker is Reverend Dr. Judy DeRosa. You get me twice, right? And we do have a new subject, which I'm really glad to see. And that is, let's see, opening to more. And that'll be a really interesting topic, because I think that everything is, it's not about quantity, it's about the inner more of our self, our soul self. And if you would, together with me, say the prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds me, the love of God enfolds me, the power of God protects me. The presence of God washes over me. The energy of God is me. Wherever I am, God is. And all is well. And there is a card in the back of the seat if you'd like to take that home with you. It's like, what are they saying? Take it and put it someplace where you can read it every once in a while, because it helps reinforce the fact that we're never alone. And that's very hard sometimes for people because they feel isolated. And Warren, we get more of Warren. Would you play for us again, Warren?
Yes, I will.
Thank you.
This is an old Eric Clapton song. If I could reach the stars, oh, one down for you, guided on my heart, so you could see the truth. What this love inside you, everything it seems, but now find it's only in my dreams that I can change the world. I'll be the sunlight in your universe. You would think my love was really something good, maybe if I could change the world. And if I could be king, even for a day, I'd take you as my queen, have it yours away, and our love would grow, this kingdom we have made. Till then I'd be a fool, searching for the day that I can change the world. I wanna be the sunlight in your universe. You would think my love was really something good, maybe if I could change the world. And I can change the world. I will be the sunlight in your universe. You would think my love was really something good. Maybe if I could change, maybe if I could change, maybe if I could change the world.
If we could change the world, we're doing that right now. I'm going to close out for today. Divine light fills us as we take this wisdom with us out into the world. We share this with everyone we know and everyone we haven't met yet. We take this loving light, this kindness, this clarity into our world, and we change the world. Thank you. Have a wonderful, wonderful week. There's cookies.